Hate doesn't always scream. It whispers. It hides in the little things people do, or more often, don't do. And if you're not paying attention, you'll confuse hate for indifference, or worse. You'll excuse it as just someone's personality. But here's the truth. When a person truly carries hate for you, it leaks out in specific, undeniable ways. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. Let's talk about the signs that reveal someone doesn't just dislike you, they hate you. A lot. When someone truly hates you, one of the clearest ways it shows up is in how they respond to your success. Pay attention to those little moments when you achieve something, big or small. Maybe you got a promotion at work. Maybe you finally hit a personal goal you've been working toward, or maybe you just had a win in your day that meant a lot to you. A person who genuinely cares about you, even if it's not their victory, will feel some sense of pride or happiness on your behalf. They'll clap for you even if no one else is clapping. But when someone carries hate for you, they can't stomach the idea of you shining. They can't celebrate you because your success is like a mirror reminding them of what they don't have or who they wish they were. Instead of encouragement, what you get is dismissal. They'll say things like, "Oh, that's not really a big deal," or, "Well, anybody could have done that." They take what you've worked hard for and reduce it to nothing, because in their mind, the less special it seems, the less special you seem. That's hate disguised as casual conversation. Other times it comes out as sarcasm, as if mocking you takes away from your accomplishment. You tell them something good that happened, and they make a joke about it. But underneath that joke is bitterness, resentment, and an inability to let you enjoy your moment. What's worse is how subtle it can be. Hate doesn't always show up with loud words or outright confrontation. Sometimes it's in the absence of something that should be there. You share your good news, and they just nod, no smile, no excitement, no acknowledgement. That's not because they didn't hear you. It's because they heard you too well, and what they heard threatened the way they feel about you. They can't celebrate you because to them, your win feels like their loss. It's not just about dismissing your success. It's also about twisting it back on you. Maybe you got a raise, and instead of saying congratulations, they say, "Well, must be nice to have connections." Maybe you got recognized for your hard work, and they say, "Wuss, you're the boss's favorite." They don't let you own your win. They reframe it as undeserved, as if you stumbled into it rather than earned it. And that's the danger, because if you're not careful, you'll start questioning yourself. You'll start wondering if maybe they're right. Maybe you didn't deserve it. Maybe it wasn't as big of a deal as you thought. Hate loves to plant doubt in your head. And the truth is, when you're around someone who can't celebrate you, it chips away at your spirit, because success is meant to be shared. Accomplishments are meant to be enjoyed with people who clap the loudest, not questioned by people who clap the quietest. When someone refuses to see the value in your wins, what they're really saying is they refuse to see the value in you. And that's not dislike, that's hate. So, when you notice someone twisting your success into their insult, when you notice that every victory of yours feels like a threat to them, pay attention. Because that isn't someone who just doesn't get you. That isn't someone who's too busy to celebrate you. That is someone who hates you more than they will ever admit. One of the clearest signs that someone doesn't just dislike you but truly hates you is how they respond when life knocks you down. See, it's easy to know who's for you when everything is going well, when you're smiling, achieving, moving forward. Everyone looks supportive when the sun is shining. But when the storm hits, when you fall flat on your face, when things don't go the way you planned, that's when hate shows its real face. Because a person who hates you doesn't just sit on the sidelines. They secretly root for your failure. You can feel it in the way they react. When you stumble, there's a spark in their eye they can't quite hide. They may try to cover it with fake sympathy, saying things like, "Oh wow, that's tough." but there's an undertone that sounds just a little too satisfied. They might even offer empty words of comfort, but their body language says something different. The pause before they speak, the slight smirk they can't fully control, the way they change the subject quickly after. Those are little cracks in the mask of politeness that hate can't quite patch up. What makes it even more dangerous is how they use your failures as proof against you. They don't just observe what went wrong, they store it. They bring it back up later. They use it to reinforce the narrative in their mind that you're undeserving or incapable. When you make a mistake, they don't treat it like one bad day. They treat it like confirmation of who they believe you are. They take your low moments and weaponize them, not just in conversations with you, but in conversations about you. And that's the thing. People who hate you don't need your success to fail. They need your failure to win. You'll notice it too in how they respond to your struggles compared to others. If someone else faces a setback, they're encouraging, supportive, maybe even helpful. But when it's you, they go quiet, they go cold, or worse, they show relief. Because to them, your stumble feels like justice, like balance, like life finally knocking you down a peg. Hate doesn't want you on equal ground, it wants you beneath them. Sometimes it's not even about words, it's about the lack of them. When you go through something tough, people who care will check in, they'll ask how you're holding up, they'll want to see you rise again. But someone who hates, you won't extend that hand. They'll stay silent, because your pain feeds them more than your healing ever could. Silence becomes their way of enjoying the show without admitting they bought a ticket. And if you've ever been through something hard and noticed that certain people just disappeared, ask yourself why. It's not always indifference. Sometimes it's satisfaction. Sometimes it's because being there for you would have robbed them of the private joy they feel watching you fall apart. Hate doesn't want to pick you up. It wants to step over you. So when you see that pattern, when someone's comfort seems too comfortable in your losses, when they light up a little too much at your setbacks, understand what it means. Because a person who quietly celebrates when you fail isn't neutral, they're not misunderstood, and they're not just keeping their distance. They hate you, and they hate you a lot. Disagreements happen all the time. We don't all think the same. We don't all make the same choices, and naturally, people are going to clash over opinions. That's normal. That's healthy even. But here's where the line gets crossed. When someone no longer keeps the conversation about what you did or the decision you made, but instead they make it about who you are. That's when you know it's not just disagreement. That's when you know it's hate. See, there's a huge difference between saying, "I don't agree with what you did," and saying, "You're a terrible person." One is about your action, the other is about your identity. Hate doesn't attack the moment, it attacks the core. A person who hates you won't stop at pointing out mistakes. They'll tear into your character. They'll label you, define you, and reduce you to the worst interpretation they can find. It's not, "That was careless." It's, "You're worthless." It's not, "I don't like how you handled that." It's, "You'll never be good enough." And if you listen closely, you'll notice how intentional it is. Hate wants to cut deep enough that you start questioning yourself. They'll say things that target the parts of you that are hardest to defend, the parts you may already feel insecure about.